It's bigger. It's louder. It's better than ever. This still isn't your typical motorsports podcast. This is the 10th anniversary of Crush This, a monster truck podcast brought to you by J Concepts. For 10 years, your hosts, the monster truck Canucker Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash, have brought you into the minds and personalities of the monster truck industry. Strap in and hold on tight. This is Crush This!
Hey guys, thank you for another episode of Crush This, a Monster Truck Podcast presented by J Concepts. This episode's a Wednesday night. Some stuff that came about. We both me and Mason worked it out and stuff like that. He was getting stuff ready to go. I don't know where exactly they're at this week, but he'll let us know. But also, there's some sad news with our bosses, Mark and Tim. Their mom left this earth, and we had a viewing on Tuesday. So, kind of fitting for us to do the viewing and stuff like that. So, the episode had to be moved, which was in good terms. So, what we're here on Wednesday night instead of a typical Tuesday. Next Tuesday will be a Mark Warner episode. And with that, I'm just trying to also get you guys going. If you guys need to watch it, we can get everything going there too. So let me go and also put this on YouTube. So we'll go ahead and share this copy, and then we'll get some people on just to share the product and stuff like that for everyone, and that'd be pretty cool. And how's everyone doing today? Thank you for being on, everyone. I do appreciate it. You guys, thank you for what you guys have done. Thank you for 10 years once again. Brad, on a Wednesday, he won't be on. If we do episode on Wednesday, he won't be able to make it. Which much respect. He's a drummer for his church. They have church Wednesday night, so he's there drumming along and doing his thing. So much respect for Brad. And but once again, I did some RC racing last weekend. Off Track RC, shout out to those guys, Chris and the guys. Off Track is formerly, it's a new group run by new people. The people that originally started Trigger King, one stepped down just to become a racer, helps out needed to be. The other one's pursuing tractor pulling, and Off Track is run by Chris Parrish and the other Chris. And they do some RC racing once again, the JB Scale Graphics arena over there in Waterloo, Illinois, which is like across the river from St. Louis. So we always say the St. Louis area. And brought Lenny. Lenny's from California. He ran his trucks. Nathan ran his. About 48 pro mods. A lot of trucks going on, which was freaking sweet. And Chris Blank, thank you, Andy. And excited about that. The way the people are going. We did pretty good sport mod. The Mount West Virginia Mountaineer is in 10th place right now. And Raminator Freestyle truck is currently second, tied with Andy. He was on Instagram. So once again, thank you guys that are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We occasionally do Switch, but I don't really have anything with Switch-wise. So anything that goes on right now, thank you for what you guys have done. And I always look at the chats and stuff like that for people to be involved in. But right now, currently, I'm still trying to taking a little breather here, but we're trying to get feedback because I fell behind. I was trying to get some dinner, trying to get everything ready to go for some events that are coming in next week. So it should be pumped up, exciting stuff like that. So let's go right here. Okay, that should be enough on what's going on, and hopefully we get some people in. But once again, go to jconcepts.net. So if you take a look at, let's see here. That's my background. Still kind of getting new to this format that we've been having here. This one? Nope, it's the other one. I just was trying to get my name off. But the funny thing is the person that we're interviewing for this episode actually introduced us to this. So we'll talk about that later. But go to Crush This Stock. Go to www.jconcepts.net. Type in Crush This to get 15% off in checkout. You see the Big Boss, well, right here. Big Boss with the F-150 body on it, the Gold Years tires, and it's also a regulator with the 27 turn, silent turn motors. This is actually a Kyosho heavy metal Gen 1 tank. So I match it with both trucks, and just in general. So I thought that was pretty neat, and go from there. But yeah, go to jconcepts.net and get yourself 15% off, so you can do some RC racing and stuff like that. Not bad gig, huh? Also, we have what we go here, Geared for Life, Bryce Kenny, his book. We always support him. We have the audio on Spotify. Also the book's on Amazon.com. Go get that book right there. Speaking of which, with Amazon and iTunes and Spotify, we have our audio podcast on those too. Show some love. Thank you for the 5-star likes and reviews. Take a screenshot of this episode also, and tag me and Mason on this deal, and say you've been watching it. It's been a cool time. Also with Monster Trucks Monthly. No, that's not it. Right here, go to monstersmonthly.com, and the audio episodes will be on the website. If you don't have Spotify, you don't have iTunes, the website right there will help you out if you guys are in the monster truck world and you follow monstersmonthly.com. Go show some love there. Also, if you see this hat right here, hey, I got this. Well, we got it through our spread shop, Crush This Monster Truck Podcast, on myspreadshop.com. Get some swag, get some cool deal, get some cool ideas. We also have I have the Big Bad and Blown. It has the hat with it also, but there's a t-shirt too. So go and take a look at that also. We're going to go and show a commercial, and then we'll have Mr. Mason Paul on our episode. So here we
Are you ready to get in on the action here on the Monster Truck Attitude YouTube channel? Look no further. Head over to Facebook where you can sign up for all the great events we host right here on the MTA YouTube channel. Be sure to sign up for the events and register your name and get locked in with a monster truck of your own and get ready for the great thrills and spills right here on the MTA YouTube channel. Again, find us on Facebook, register for these events, and you soon will be competing in all the great events. We hope to see you there, and get ready for the wild and crazy action. Be sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a beat right here on the Monster Truck Attitude YouTube channel.
Well. Hey, Mr. Mason Paul. How
we
you
doing? I'm still cleaning off my glasses. I've been watching that commercial that whole time. I'm just letting you know right now, I would like to be signed up for that. Can you get me like one of the faster diecasts? I'd like to run these. Last time I was in a sign up series, I think I was like 12. But
Oh,
even though I just turned 26, I'd love to be in that. That was an awesome commercial.
yeah. I mean, just go to the Monster Truck Attitude on Facebook and just join. And then like they do different signups between like Thursday and Friday. You have to kind of like set an alarm, and then you put "I'm in" within
Okay.
10 minutes, and then they have the spinning wheel. And then when that spinning wheel calls your name, then Steve will message you and be like, "Hey, what truck are you interested in? What truck he'll hook you up with a truck that you want to do and whatnot. Like
Mhm.
maybe the Rockwell Red truck or something like that." So
I'm more of a Velociraptor guy for right now. If he has it, I like it. If he needs a blue one, I can ship him one. So we'll work it out somewhere. But it's
there you
awesome
go.
to talk to you, man. It's been a couple of years since I've even done a podcast. I mean, there's Cam and I's podcast, Monstercast, and I mean, we still talk. I mean, I was just talking to that guy, I think a week or two ago, and we got both busy. But like, man, you were talking about how like I got you guys on StreamYard. I'm like, oh man, it's been so many years. I couldn't even tell you how to help out right now.
Yeah, 2020, that's been crazy and everything like
Yeah.
that. We'll go back full circle and how you started and everything like that. But for this year, the 2025 year, you're rocking the Monster Jam Series West Tour. You're kind of overseeing four. It's unlike any other tour because all the independence is from your stable. Team Throttle Monster, and
Mhm.
you have four trucks maintaining. It's cool that you got give a shout out to Devin's new girlfriend that's helping out lately.
Mhm.
But you also had Tim Hall and his brother, and you know other people also, Alex Barden. You guys start off the season kind of rocky. Alex hurt his collarbone and he's still recovering. So give a shout out to Alex. Like to see him behind the wheel here. But Carson steps up and helps out, and then Corey goes there too. So with having done this before, like last year,
Mhm.
um, how do you feel about this year for you, and how is it going right now?
Man, that's a good question. I mean, I won't lie. I started off the year still a little kind of on the fritz and nervous. Devin's truck is the like newest truck in our fleet. It was initially the hydrogen truck. I know a lot of people. I kind of still lurk online and stuff in different discords. People are like, "That's the hydrogen truck." Yeah, I mean it was, but right now we are using one of our regular methanol motors, but it is running on EFI coil packs. It's a brand new thing we're just trying out. I mean, you can't see it in the back right now. We're at Levrack headquarters, one of our best sponsors. And right now, Tim is actually putting on a new set of coil packs, and he's going to be trying out that system to try it. I think we're going to Manchester, New Hampshire next week. So we have some time. We're trying to get everything going. We're trying to be one of the top end teams and trying to make sure everybody's moving up, everybody's helping each other. We're one big team, but at the end of the day, we're still one big family. But to start the year, oh man, I was still biting my freaking fingernails off my fingers. I mean, I still had in my head starting the year, I'm like, okay, well, I was nominated for Technician of the Year last year. I never thought I've always been a fan of this sport. You asked me like, did you come from a background? I'm like, I mean, I would play Rigs or Odds online or watch Crash Madness, whichever on like my VHS that I still had at my parents' place. And if they asked me like what I did for fun, it was probably just playing with a stick outside or playing video games with friends. Like coming into this industry, like I never expected myself to actually even be nominated for Technician of the Year. I've always wanted to win something, thought it'd be cool, but I never expected last year would have been that year to even just be nominated. It meant so much to me, and I'm someone that loves making little yearly goals for myself, and I made one of them this year is that I'd like to try to get nominated again. And who knows, maybe I could win it. But to start the year, the first weekend, it's definitely rocky. I get kind of still nervous and jittery myself sometimes. I mean, we're only human, but first week was really tough and kind of seeing all the competitors. I mean, we've been up against Weston before. I mean, that guy will he'll wipe the table, man. He's a good time, he's good people's. The one I was trying to get like an understanding of, I mean, I look up to Cody. I love the dude as a friend. I've never seen him really in a competition, minus the one off show we had last year. So I was like trying to get a feel for him, Brianna. All of us were still kind of getting new to the trucks. I mean, tensions were definitely high, and people's like expectations were definitely way here. And I'm still like, I hope it works out. But after I want to say the third week and us going into Sacramento, I knew that Tim was still trying to figure out some issues with his truck, but I felt like Devin and I finally kind of started getting like a game plan going. We started going like crazier, doing some wild stuff. Or I'd be like, I'd go in his ear, I'm like, hey, you should try this. Or like, wouldn't it be funny if you did this? And he'll go out and then just have fun. And for me, whether it's I'm in the seat or I'm crewing, my main thing is I like to make sure that not only the fans are getting, their money's worth in like a show, but I want to make sure my teammates, or in this case, my best friend, he's going out there without a care in the world. And he's out here to put on not a show for just the fans, but to kind of show himself that, like, hey, that was awesome. And we can go back to the videos and we can just be like, oh, yeah, that was good. And to see us still in second place, still like fighting out with Brianna and Cody, and to say that those guys are my friends and I've watched them on TV and now we're just hanging out and still being competitors. It's kind of crazy to think on, honestly. I'm honestly just super thankful for just being here with this team and the opportunities I've had, especially this year.
I was about to say, this year probably saw a pretty cool save from him. That one wheel pop out. I don't know what we call it, but it was in, I think, one of the East Coast shows. I don't know if it was South Carolina or Alabama, but you had video of him driving Velociraptor and comes over and gets himself all cattywampus and saves it with one wheel.
Yeah, no, it's been one thing, and okay, if Devin's watching this and when he watches this, I mean, you can hate me for it later, but last year, I think it was Austin, Texas, Dalton started throwing his steering wheel out the window, and we're like, oh, that's so cool. And then Devin was wanting to do it. And this year, he's made that, like, him and Dalt have made that their own little, like, bread and butter moving two wheel. And I think it was Albuquerque that you're talking about when he had that. Or one of the many saves he did. It was in the end of freestyle. I was watching in the back of the tunnel, and if you watch the freestyle live stream of it, you still see me like jumping up and down and like throwing my hands around like a crazy fan still. But he threw his steering wheel out the window, still doing a moonwalk, and then he took it up the AR5 and it like rolled him backwards. He didn't have a steering wheel on. He told me he was hanging on for dear life on the steering column, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And when it rolled over, it had just enough momentum to kind of just bring him back on all fours. The body was in 10 different pieces, but lately, last year and this year, I've gotten pretty good at fiberglassing, and I like to kind of take a challenge. So every now and then, I'll try to put a bug in Devin's ear. I'm like, you should try to do like a save again or do something crazy. And he's like, well, I don't want Mike or Paul to get mad. I'm like, I got us. I want to see a show, and I know the fans want to see a show. If we get yelled at, then it's a small thing, and I know that with the team we have and time we got, the Velociraptor will still look A1, and the save, everybody's gonna remember that one.
Right on, right on, right on. So that's kind of curious because you have the 4 trucks in one arena tour. You have 2 trucks in a stadium tour, but then you got 2 trucks doing the independent life. So do you have to, who is it with the four trucks? Are you guys kind of individual but still under the same umbrella, or you have like kind of felt standard where you have your 4 trucks and then there's your technicians, but you have one guy that's overseeing everything?
No, honestly, in my opinion, it's still a whole on. It's a team thing. I mean, even before I hopped on this podcast, I mean, we're getting ready for display for our main sponsors here at Leverack. Love these guys. I mean, their shop and them letting us just use their space. It's a dream come true. It's honestly a great place and good products. But like we'll still have times where, yeah, I am in charge of 4 trucks, but I'm not doing this alone. And I will never take like, try to have an ego over and be like, yeah, I work on all 4. That's not me. I mean, I still help out with Velociraptor, of course, and Earthshaker, but I mean, there's still Travis and his brother, Tim Hall Jr. They work on Jurassic Attack. We have Berto Trevino and Monster Rottweiler. We've had Coy Rummel, someone I've looked up to. I mean, he won Technician of the Year, and I told him that to his face before kind of parted ways for a little bit, but looking forward to seeing him again soon. But like we've had him, Carson, all of us are still one big family. And if we know there's one thing that needs to get done, maybe one person will work on this and do like a small project or get tires washed, and then two other people will help get the transmission out, or we'll start doing anything we can to make sure we're on top of our stuff so we can compete at the top level to go against the top level people, and then hopefully try to do something crazy for you fans, you know? So it's not exactly like Feld, but we try to make it as close, but it gets a little messy then sometimes, and it's part of the job.
So let's start from the beginning on your adventure. Uh, it's kind of cool because you're a proven entity of being a fan can get you somewhere if you have, the dedication, the try hard, and take the critics or the critics take you, but there's determination and stuff like that. So how let's go back and let people, you're a fan, and do you still remember the first show you went? And let's fast forward to the time that you thought to yourself, I'm going to get my foot in the door. And how did you get that to happen?
Oh man, I've told only maybe a couple of people this story, and it's more just something I tell my family at like a Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know how many people really know this, but I think it was 2003, Del Mar Fair. It was the time that Jimmy, Don, and I think Frankish and Lindsey Wink were there. And this was during the time that Del Mar Fair. I mean, if you watch the videos on YouTube, they have like a big awning on it now. But back then, it was just a big open, just dirt area. And they still did monster truck shows back then. And really, my family, we couldn't really go to Monster Jam. We've always wanted to go, but this was just closer for us at the time in San Diego. And Dawn and Jimmy just finished doing a freestyle, and they went out to the pits. And my mom, she's someone that like she's very extroverted and she'll just talk to anybody. And I for the life of me, I'm a shy guy, and I still don't know to this day how she had the guts to just do that. Because if it was me, I'd be like, I'm gonna leave them alone. But
Mm-hmm.
she walked up with me and and the little stroller, and she came up and she was just talking to Dawn. And I mean, there's no reason for me to be in a stroller. I could walk my own, but I was a kid like that back then, and there's still pictures of it. My mom has them somewhere, but I kept looking at Dawn's truck and like, wow, that's so cool. Still have vividish memories and just pictures of it somewhere with my like big puppy dog eyes looking at Scarlet Bandit. But she let me sit in her truck, and I still, it's the memory box in here. Maybe not in pictures, but in here. I remember sitting in that seat, and right then and there, as a kid, I told myself, I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I'm gonna be a monster truck driver. And I mean, to any kids watching online, like I was bullied a lot for liking monster trucks. I mean, I was a big super fan. I mean, trust me,
Mm-hmm.
if I was one of the kids with the World Finals lanyards and I put a Max D diecast on it, and I'd go to school, I'd wear a crew shirt, and then like I was cheesed on it a lot, but that didn't really change the fact that I mean, I knew this is exactly what I was gonna do, and I mean, I stuck with it. And after high school, I did what was it? I think a semester of diesel tech. I think I picked up like three things from there. But while I was doing that, I was networking with different people. I was talking with friends I just barely made graduating high school. Devin Winfield, Alex Barden, Evan Pasoko, Trevin Valderma. I mean, the list goes on. I was messaging them nonstop. Even Lindsay, I was like, is there any way I could maybe help? Is there something I can do to help out? I'm just trying to get my foot in the door. I don't know anything about motorsports, but I'm so passionate about this and I would like to get involved. I didn't say anything about driving at the time, even though I mean I wanted to. But it was
It's always
basically in
like the
that moment.
goal.
I mean, it's okay. Whose goal isn't to drive at the end of the day? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, maybe you won't say it at first, but I mean, come on. I think we all know what everybody wants here.
Yeah.
But it was around that time. I think it was actually Alex. He was one of the people that didn't leave my message on red, and he's like, "Well, if you can manage to fly yourself out to Houston, we need club people there if you want to come out and help." I just barely got my high school job at Chick-fil-A, so I started saving up for my own flight,
My
hotel. I was
pleasure.
barely 18. Yeah. Oh man, I anytime I go to Chick-fil-A and someone says that, I still kind of like it's like, oh my gosh, I'm back back in high school days. But no, I started saving up for a flight ticket. I've never done this on my own. That was my first solo trip doing something on my own. I was a shut-in kid. My parents fed me chicken and green beans and kept me inside and let me play video games, not to go out and see the world this early. So they were nervous as heck for me, but I was I knew that this was the start to something big. And of course I make it there. I was at I think it was the Motel 6 that's right outside the Houston NRG Stadium. I've never had my own hotel, no nothing. I was nervous as can be. And I'm like, hope this is the right decision I'm doing here. And like the hotel receptionist looking at me, a little kid, and it's like, are you old enough to get your own hotel? I'm like, yes. But I got in there. I met everybody. I met Scott Alinsky. I met Scott Douglas. Outside of just him announcing for the first time, I saw Tony Oaks drive the Punisher truck into the ground. That was an awesome freestyle. Ryan didn't know me at the time, but I was pumping my fists in the air when I was watching him do his like freestyle run and everything. And just even those small, just my little small impact that weekend and just talking to people, even though I was super shy and really nerdy at the time and I barely knew how to say anything besides like 5 words. It made an impact because then they asked me to come back and keep on like clubbing. And from clubbing, I went into 2018, clubbed a ton more shows. I met you, Lenny, I met so many other new faces and so many more people. I mean, it was hard for me because still I'm 26. I might be talking a lot, but it's between a screen. I'm still really shy.
Mm,
But being able to meet all those people and just kind of put my energy out there when I could, I feel like people saw that, something about this kid. He's got some spunk to him, maybe, or maybe he's just that insane. I don't know what it was, but I've always been a big fan of Jimmy Cretin and his team because even as a kid, I'm like, he has one of the fastest trucks. He has a Western guy with the papers and everything. That looks like a mean truck. Also, by the way, and all the Two Extreme people watching, I saw what you guys did for the 30th anniversary, and that that right there, that is the scheme. I'm so happy for you guys. But to go back on my story, I think it was one of the Anaheim shows. I think I talked to either Michael Christensen, who's now my boss, ironic,
mhm.
but I think it's either him or Mitt. But like I start asking them if I could help out, and they're like, oh, maybe. And then I think that's when it went into Delmar, and then they remembered me, and that's when I started helping out that whole weekend. And right before the end of the weekend, I mean, Jimmy's still an intimidating guy, and I'm back then. I was super scrawny. All this, not even there. I was just stick and bones, and I'm coming up to him like, Is there any way I could come on the road and work with you?" And I was expecting a no. And it was one of the first few times, and it was crazy the question he asked me. It's like, "Are you engaged, or is there anything holding you down here?" I'm like, "I'm barely 19. I've never even had a girlfriend before. I'm just here to do monster trucks." And from that point on, it was basically settled. Like I think a month later, I flew out to meet them in Calgary, and I still didn't know anything on how to even tire up the truck, barely how to pre-race a truck, just the basics of how to get in. But they gave me that opportunity, and no matter what, I will always still respect them for that because they saw a little nerdy kid. They weren't sure if it would work out. I mean, I know the whole super fan little name is it seems so bad, but I'm hoping I can maybe be someone to change
Yeah.
that because I mean, I was that same kid up in the stands screaming my head off and being like, "Yeah," but if you look back at even the videos, like I'm not trying to talk about myself for a second, but like I've been doing my own little video series on my Instagram or just post like runs and stuff. You'll still hear me kind of like super fan out. Even if I try editing it out, you'll still see it because I mean that's still me. And I want to make sure people know it's like, no, I'm still a fan of this, but I've worked pretty damn hard to get here. And I want to show anybody, whether you're 12, 16, 18, wanting to get into this, or 28 in your 30s, but you're still passionate about this. I mean, if you have something you're passionate about and you're willing to do absolutely anything it takes to get what you want, hey, hard work always does pay off. And I mean, there's still bigger things on the way. And hey, I just want to let you guys know, like, never give up. And I feel like slowly but surely, maybe I can be like a small little like glimmer of hope for people that are unsure about it. And
Yeah,
that's
me
all
and
I
you
can
are
really hope
kind of in
for.
the same boat. different avenues. You're from the West Coast, I'm from the East Coast. I'm a super fan also. I never tell people I'm not. I'm a huge fan. My room still, still has all this. I RC race, downhill die-cast monster truck race, but still, I have the trust of the Hall brothers to let me drive one of their trucks. You know what I mean? Um, I get giddy when, I see racing between, Blake and Mark, and it's a close race, and we hope we got them. But, you know, in general, it's really, the testament of already knowing someone that was a fan or a super fan is already somehow or some way for people in the monster truck community as a scarlet letter, some type of bad omen or some.
Yes.
They think that we're gonna spend more time watching the show or leaking information, trying to get our clout, some type of a situation that automatically already puts us in the negative, instead of someone that wasn't a monster truck fan that basically is just doing this as a stepping stone to get themselves into a NASCAR, IndyCar, NHRA, other form of motorsports. They're trying to use this as a stepping stone, which I mean, you did a lot of the independent route. I went on my jump to starting with Monster Jam. So, I'm a super fan also about it. I mean, at high school, every single Monster Jam, I think I had a Gravedigger t-shirt, and I wore one Gravedigger. Man, it must have been like the 99, 01 through 2001.
Lucky.
It was like a long sleeve Gravedigger t-shirt with flames on it, and it had, I think, Gravedigger 12 on the back of it with the ghost flame, and said Gravedigger on it, and it was like the 1999 Gravedigger. 12, Gravedigger 12, kind of like the slick back, dark paint scheme, not the bright purple and green that you see today, but it was kind of like the dark. It was a previous painter. I wore the shit out of that shirt, and everyone thought I wore it because I was dirty. No, after I was done wearing it that day, I come home, take it off, put it in the washing machine. I would wash it every single time had a chance to wear that t-shirt. I did. Another one was like a Gravedigger t-shirt that said, "If you can handle the ride," or something like that. And I mean, it was the same, but I was made fun of. And now those people that did that now are asking me for tickets for shows because their kids are into it.
Yeah.
Now they're into understanding, going, oh, their kids are into it now, and it's like, yeah, now the tables have turned, and a couple of them always got you can always go to www.monsterjam.com and get your tickets there. Some type of deal like that nature, because it's like, then they realize, oh, you're driving a truck. And it's like, yeah, it's a completely different situation, but the fans, if you were, but it wasn't easy, and you attest to it also. It's not like, I can drive a truck because I have some type of skill, or I have a family's last name, or my dad has money, or from another company. We didn't have that fortune, did shows when I saw Hampton, Virginia, but my dad was a retired military vet, and he married a lovely, awesome lady from the Philippines, and she, not knowing what's going on with America life, and she's just trying to bust her ass to just break even and stuff like that, and they just, for me, was to keep me busy, was while they're cooking or cleaning or doing stuff in the house, is turn on ESPN and it was either TNT or, either that or on the weekends. If I'm not watching, people were watching cartoons, I was watching Trucks and Tractor Power. I was so.
Yes.
The thing is not just like my eyes are always on like TNN, and then Sundays were ESPN. So I'll watch exactly how your shirt is. I'll watch stuff.
I wanted to do a little flex real quick.
I watch like IndyCar, NASCAR, NHRA, dirt, sprint car, swamp buggy, anything with an engine I was into. And during high school, though, I got a lot of people saying, "Nah, you shouldn't do this, doing that." So I did a little bit of automotive classes, but I went to a different route, but always had Monster Truck in my mind. I could do videography. I did videography during college. I helped with the monster vlog, stuff like that. And then I started track crewing in 2011. And then that reached to a situation where I lost my job, and the state of PA helped out with payments, helped me out with going to school. So I went to automotive school, went to Rosedale Technical Institute in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then from then on, the one thing I liked about Rosedale is they know how to make you write a resume. It makes you all professional. And I sent that straight to Monster Jam, and they bit the bait, and they gave me a chance to learn. I mean, I was greener than green. Learn from there, and trial and error, and it took quite some time. It took me about 7 years from the start of Monster Jam and 2 different other teams to get the chance to actually put the pedal down. People, you say you drive a monster truck. Yeah, there's a difference between driving a monster truck and moving a monster truck, because you're not really using you're using maybe 1% of the truck just to get it from the pod to the parking spot. And you don't really get the thrill or the box inside of where a race truck is until they say, okay, sit down, put a helmet on, get a driver's seat, and then we're gonna let you go into the field and have some fun. And then you realize how intimidating that truck can be. If you respect it,
yeah,
and you get used to the seat time, then it becomes, then you become, with one of it, and then you realize what the truck and everything like that can do. So, that was me, but like me and you are kind of like we're fans. I'm still a fan. I'll wear
2 peas in a pod.
Yeah, I'll wear other people's t-shirts just to support, just to do what other people go. I'll look for t-shirts from monster trucks that are not even in the region. So if I'm going to like Georgia, I'm gonna wear a Rat Attack t-shirt. No one's gonna know who Rat Attack is, but go there. Or I'll just try to find a like an Aftershock or a Crustacean, and then I'm walking around San Diego with a Crustacean t-shirt or something like that. And people are like, or someone like as a monster truck fan wants to know, hey, what's going on? Like the thing is as soon as I had a debit card and I found out I could buy t-shirts from like Shocker or like Terminator, stuff like that, I'll buy that just because if I had one small part of introducing people to trucks that are monster truck fans, but in the region, it could be different. For you, like for instance, you would buy like a Eradicator or a Backdraft or a Thrasher. Well, for me, I'm used to seeing those trucks. They always play around that area. Rap Attack. I mean, Elliot Miller loves Rap Attack, but a lot of people don't get to see Rap Attack, and it's but in my neck of the woods, it was at every single monster truck show around that area, which is the same kind of type for you. If you saw Terminator, Shocker, playing for keeps, you see the same people in the California area. So I always thought maybe that'd be kind of neat to do, buy stuff like that. And then I think for me and probably for you, what all came to full circle and made me feel like I'm not the only one was like the monster truck boards and also ROR, MTM2, the online video game world. Because without that, I wouldn't be able to answer an email from Kevin Payne or Alex Pecorelli about track crewing at Syracuse in 2011. Sorry I took over, but
Oh no, hey, this is still your podcast. I've been out of the podcast game for a couple of years now. And I mean,
years.
even back then, I was still super shy. And I've told Cam, even before we did the podcast, I'm like, I'm gonna be the guy that does the computer work. I'll maybe chime in here and there. I'll be I'll be one of the guys that peep in every here and there. I mean, I was always too shy to say anything, and lately I've been actually kind of feeling like, oh wait, I can talk. I kind of have a little bit of a voice. A friend wants me to have on a podcast. This podcast could go on for a couple hours as long as my phone doesn't die and there's some questions going around. I love hearing about your story. I bet people don't really even know the fact that and I'm gonna nerd out a little bit on this too, but I still looked up to you, and I'd kind of lurk on your pages, and I'd see oh, so this guy got in this way. Now he's current on Cash Monkey Garage. So you're telling me there's a chance. So I mean, I've been maybe not stalkerish, but I've been researching different people and been yeah, I can make this work.
Then again, that's how I got used to researching, was going through the message boards like Monster Mayhem, and so I don't know if you're too young, but
26.
You're 26.
Monster Mayhem. I think I actually still have an account on there. I don't know if the website's still up, because I think it's still saved on my laptop and on my desktop, because I still have it for my Chrome account. Yeah, but I was one of those super nerds that would either go on that website or Facebook or directly to the team owner, and I'd ask hey, what was the theme song you used for this weekend at this whatever Monster show? And then I wouldn't get an answer, or I would start trying to Shazam different YouTube videos and be oh, so that's the Rottweiler theme song? This is crazy.
I was, my form of being geeked out was when the internet started getting bigger. At school, I would take my time to go through Dennis Taft's monster truck album photos and go each and every one of the trucks, just seeing pictures and everything like that, from A all the way to Z.
Yes.
That
I got a funny story.
Monster Zone, Truck World. When they talked, if you guys have a chance, Kyle Doyle has a podcast. I think it's called Bottom Dead Bottom.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, Cody's in it. Frank Krimmel.
Did I disconnect, or did he disconnect?
Hello? Hey, people who got disconnected, me or? Let's see here. Hello?
I think we have technical difficulties.
Hey, Levi. What? Am I disconnected or Mason? We're both there. Oh, okay. Man, Taft took my old YouTube videos. Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, no. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, some people got, so I'm still on. We lost Mason. Hey,
okay,
can you hear us?
Am I still here? Am I still here? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I started freaking out. I'm like, where are we going?
Yeah, we're all good. People said they still got you on, so I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe there was a service glitch or something like that around your area or something like that, but people said they still heard you and stuff like that. So
they probably saw 10 different weird faces of me trying to look up close to the camera. I'm like, what do I do to fix this?
You went from 26 to 62 very fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
looking at it. But yeah, the monster truck forums to find out who won one week or who won the other week, not knowing. So when I was saying Bottom End Center or that podcast, they talked to Brian Manson. I didn't know Brian Manson was with Andrew Palachko, and they had an online monster truck site that people can follow through and stuff. I didn't know that, and look where they're at. One's one of the head honchos of Monster Jam. The other one's one of the head honchos of the Toughest Monster Truck Tour. Two of the top series in the country, run by fans. You know, I mean, it's crazy to know about that. That knowing that people that we talk to, like I remember one of the first people that introduced themselves to me was Colby Marshall. I didn't know he would be a videographer for the Monster Blog, which are spending 20 years, by the way, and also helping out with the Toughest Tour. You know, you're meeting a bunch of people from the All Monster group, you know, Josh Rhodes and, you know, all these people. And then, you know, some of the chats that we have, like on Snapchat or, you know, Discord, they're all fans and they're all in the industry because of that. Knowing about that made me feel happy that I know that I wasn't the only one around the area. And I don't know if that you felt the same way also.
No, it was kind of like a freeing moment, kind of realizing you have like a community with people. I mean, yeah, you have your run-ups first when you're like in school, or people are kind of like, you know, they have their own niche, and this guy's in the monster trucks, get a load of this guy. But like when you finally find your people, I think that's when like you really feel at home. But I mean, like you said, everybody here, a majority of us, and if not nearly all of us, were fans. And like I was joking with Cody Saucier on this just last weekend. Like it was crazy to me. Like I'd look up and watch this guy on TV and be like, "Oh, this guy's so cool," and I want to grow up to be just like him one day. And now we're, you know, roughing it out. My best friend's trying to beat him in racing, and they were like every now and then Cody be like, "Hey, did you record that run of me?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got you, man. Look at this." And it's like the small things. I mean, maybe you don't notice it at first, but it's like it's always after the fact. You look back on stuff and you're like, yeah, it's, you know, it is nice to feel like it's not just that you're wanted, but you feel like right where you belong. If I can't find the word I'm trying to find here, but speaking of words, I heard you say a couple swear words, and I feel a little okay because there's multiple times I've bit my lip trying not to say like a curse word or something, because I'm like,
mine wasn't that bad, but I did say it, but it wasn't a hold back. I just let it through. So parents, you have kids watching or listening, parent discretion advised.
I just wanted to give you crap.
Yeah, I mean, if the WWE can do it, I think we'll be all right. But before we continue on and how you got more in depth, you know, you were kind of a little bit of a journeyman. We gotta thank a sponsor for us, and that is going to be Colby Marshall. So we'll be right back with one of our commercials. Then we'll jump into talking about how you got into the storm of the monster truck world. So hold on one second. I don't want to click on and Back Channel Productions. I totally screwed that up, but whatever. That's another guy that was a huge fan that became now his channel, go Back Channel Productions on YouTube. Pretty much a lot of the independent shows that you'll see around the country, he'll film it, and your Throwdown, your Toughest Tour, Virginia Beach, stuff like that, go from there. So you get your foot in the door after our little, I guess, quote unquote, super fan rant. Because also people, we have one question before I get into the in-depth area is, Mason, when can we expect All Smile merchandise?
Oh man, we're trying to make this about me and Cheesegrater for a second. I don't want to talk too much about my little video series I got going on, but
Oh, give a plug. Go, 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 go. We'll be
I'll
all
give
right.
a little plug here. Why
Yeah,
not? Okay,
yeah.
so if you guys are interested, and if you guys are listening, past, present, future, well, more present, future, um, I do have a little video series I came up with last year. I mean, the name, it's kind of ironic because someone asked, like, are you like, how you doing, man? It's like, oh, dude, all smiles after like there was like a big like housing was hanging out and everything. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. That sounds like a really good idea for a video series name. I've had a lot of these videos and different ideas. I've always wanted to do vlogging and whatnot, but was too shy for a camera. But I love making music videos. So been doing that. I do have some ideas in mind, but I'm trying to make sure at first I work it out with everybody. There's, no problems, and I can maybe make some for some family or friends or start like a little website on the side. I don't plan on anything to like summer-ish, but for those that are interested, if you DM me, I might already have like some prints already made. I mean, I have the beanie, the t-shirt, but I've made a lot more newer designs that not even like my teammates have seen because as soon as the show's done, I go back to the hotel, I start making a new video and I start working on a couple prints. Then I go to bed, wake up at 6, do the whole thing over again. So
Mm.
that's as much as you're getting, Fern. So
Ah,
there's that.
hopefully there'll be a Monster Jam World Finals special, Fern. So we're going back on track here.
Mhm.
You get in the door with Jimmy and Don. You did work for quite some time with 2 Extreme. Because that's how you met Cam, which later on in the couple next years he'll be a kind of a asset and a mentor to Darren
Mhm.
Miguez and all them. So you were there for a few
Like
years,
two,
but
1 or
2
2 years.
years.
Yeah.
But how was that? I mean, you're green also, and you got to have respect for them to be patient with you because
Hmm.
a lot of these teams in the Monster world, they will not have the patience for you to learn what's going on. They rather take, even though you're extra man, they will wait for a guy that would know what's doing
Hmm.
before they will actually hire someone that's just there to be extra hands in a
Yes.
situation where they need a guy to help them with the show, but
Yes.
they're willing to stretch it out and hurt themselves instead of hiring someone that can help them out.
Hmm.
And then we'll wait for someone that would know experience wise. So with you in that scenario, because now you're away from home, you're in the half part of the United States. You're not, you're all over, you're not in California anymore, even though they go to California quite often. The Cretans do go all over the United States, but you know, they were really popular out west. And so how were you? Do you still remember how you felt? I still remember how I felt. I already felt like I had a scarlet letter on my chest, and I felt like anything I would do, I feel like I would screw up. So confidence is very, very low key on my behalf.
Hmm.
But for you being in that scenario, how were you feeling? And who was the one that kind of took you over underneath their wing? Mine was BJ Johnson. But who was the one for you that, okay, there's a mental stage where you feel like you're stuck and there's someone that helps you and pushes you and you're like, okay, I'm going to the next, I guess, rock or
Yeah.
hill
Yeah.
that I'm be climbing. So I'm sorry taking on this room. I don't mean to.
You're fine.
When was how you first react and who was the one that helped you broke the ice?
Okay. Let me first answer the who helped me break the ice question before I go into a little bit of me lore working with Cretans.
Yeah,
There's a reason not only I'm wearing the No Problem t-shirt, the only reason I even kind of know much about No Problem is because of Cam. And or what I can't remember what day it was. It was one time we're at the shop. He was asking about like old tough track stuff and how that he loved No Problem. And I was like, what do you mean no problem? He's like, you don't know what no problem is? Like, you don't know that truck? And then like he was saying their driver's name and everything. I'm like, dude, I wasn't even a thought back then. I don't even know what truck that was. And he was giving me so much crap about it. But like I don't know, it was something about Cam. Like I knew that he won a technician. He was one of like the like real big like badass guys, and like yeah, I was like, I want to be his friend or I want to learn from him, but I have no idea on how I can like work up to that. And I think it just came to a point like he was tired of like yelling at me or just like being pissed off with me. He's like, you know what? Let me try to be this guy's friend. And it was like kind of like fish to water. Like I still look up to him like as a mentor, and I can't thank him enough because I mean, yeah, I had my friends like Mitt and Joe Foley, who's now with Team Scream, and I mean, I had a good time with them, but I don't think it helped me kind of break out of my own shell, or at least start to actually feel like I was learning anything until I was around Cam. And honestly, one of the first reactions I had around Cam when I still didn't even know how to work on trucks was 2019 of Oklahoma City. I think it was the truck that Tanner Root was driving, Monster Mutt. The four link bars were completely all out of whack, and the maintenance program was pretty dog, if I can be honest, because I wasn't really knowing what I was doing. And Cam sets me aside and he's like, "What's wrong with all this?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he's like, "You better get this all figured out right now, or else I just don't think this is for you." And I mean, it's a little harsh, but
Mhm.
something with that old school, like, dude, get your ish together, or this maybe this isn't for you. But like, it was one of the few times he went from angry to like, I don't know, man, maybe this isn't for you. And I was like, no, let me prove you wrong. I don't know what I'm doing, but I will get this done right because I want to make it here. And I want to be a part of this. And I think like that little like nudge from him, and he saw like I was actually working and I was trying harder. And that's when we both started opening up to each other more. I think that's what made me kind of get out of my shell because I was like, no, this is for me. Just give me a second. And like we hung out more, we started talking more. I think like at one point, what was it, Jimmy or someone said it's like, oh yeah, Jimmy or Mason and Cam, they got a little bromance going on or something. And I'm like, that's not like that. That was someone that I saw that didn't really, I mean, maybe he got frustrated with me a lot, but that was someone that didn't give up on me. Like didn't give up on me. And uh like you're saying, that scarlet letter, and when you feel like you have that thing on your back, you always feel like there's something in your back of your head. Someone's always watching or doubting you. And for in my opinion, and still is to this day, like one of the greats didn't really give up on me. That's where I go, like I remember that and I still do. And like I've last year, if I did win the Technician of the Year award, no, I was totally going to shout him out. And if it happened again, or somehow miraculously, I still plan to because he has a very important part in my story. And I don't know how many people know about him. So I kind of want to be like, yeah, I'm sort of passing on the torch, but I want to make sure that, like, there's a lot of people that have worked their butts off to get to just parts they are in this industry. So, like, I love the heck out of that man. So to reel back the story and talk now about Too Extreme though, um, doing the first quarter with them, I mean, beyond stressful. I've never toured, I've never traveled really. I've always just been a kid that was always in his room all the time. And now I'm going to Salt Lake and snowing and stuff I haven't experienced before. And I'm like, this is all so new. This is all crazy. And I'm just taking it all in. I mean, there's a Tacoma. I mean, even to this day, I still feel like there's a Tacoma curse goes on because anytime I go to that venue and like recruit, something crazy always happens and it's a late night. But like, it was all these little like stories, late nights, mishaps, and everything I've kind of like gone through. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it took me a lot of time to be confident to even be like, I want to say like pretty decent at the job I do. Like it wasn't until I came to Throttle Monster that I felt like even part of more of like a bigger community and family, and they could accept my little weird ass and kind of like my weird like mannerisms and stuff I do, and like I felt like kind of at home, and I've kind of really been growing from there. But just even being with like the Cretans and Too Extreme, it's an experience that the good times, the bad times, the late nights, the short nights, um, I'm still very thankful, and I don't regret a thing for anything that's gone there. And to still see them still doing their own promotions, they have the 30th anniversary Bounty Hunter. I barely talk to any of the guys there. It's not too many I still like keep in touch with because I'm always busy all the damn time. But I still check in on people, and when I see like people still doing good. I'm like, hey, maybe we don't see eye to eye, but I'm happy you're doing good, and I know I'm doing good. And hey, now I'm with a team that's still on the up and up. I mean, I was a part of their, well, Two Extremes Racing World Championship win, and I had tears in my eyes, and I still get made fun of by my family that, like, oh, you're crying on TV. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm an emotional guy. But, like, even going to last year for getting Dalton, like, Dalton won, well, he technically was handed the arena the arena bid into world finals, and that was still nuts because we didn't, none of us, and when I'm saying none of us, the entire team, we were hoping maybe Charlotte would be like the weekend, maybe Gravedigger Blues motor up, and we made like, I think, what, 40 or 60 points back miraculously. And then we won the tour and we got into world finals. And when we kind of saw like, oh no, Matt's going to win the tour. And Matt, like, after he takes the award and he has a speech and he hands it off to us, none of us saw that coming. Like, it was like I felt a whole on flush through my body, like, oh my God, like this is happening. And like when I was with Cretans and we made it to the world championship and everything, like it felt cool because like I was a kid that would sit in front of my parents' CRT TV and watch like Tom Metz and Goldberg and just the little intro of the orchestra playing for a second. I'm like, man, I want to be a part of a team like this someday. And then I was with Cretan when we won, and like I was crying my eyes out. And I still sometimes watch that personally, and like semis going down the road, and I still kind of tear up because I'm like, that was me in there. I mean, it wasn't a lot I did, but I wanted to tell myself like if I never was on a team and we made it to world championship, I wanted to make sure that like I did everything I could to make it feel like I earned at least like, the right to say like, yeah, I was the crew chief or crew guy for whoever was out there, and they had a good time. I had a good time. And I think Dalton did exactly that. He's one of my best friends, and he's a phenomenal. Like I think he's getting up there. And the Jurassic Tech name, super big, super fan of that too. So to
Mhm.
be a part of that name, I'm nerding out here for a minute, but like uh to get, of course, I mean, he drove the wheels off that damn thing, but to say that I was a part of helping get like one of my best friends into the world championship, stuff that as kids you would watch on TV and just hope you could make it one day, and to feel like I was, if anything, just a part of his story, and to kind of help him like make sure the truck was running like most of the year, and whether we butted heads or anything, we still had a good time. And like think it was like going into freestyle. Like we were in the LA pits, and I was showing him the live stream and I'm in the cab, and he's like, yeah, I think I know what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see you tear this thing up. And I was expecting Dalt to honestly like have that truck and like split in half or something. And I think, and I'm no, not I think, I'm pretty certain he was one of the only few drivers I think actually drove the truck back up to the pits with very minimal damage, minus a little bit of fiberglass work, and it wasn't completely wadded up. Which I mean, not World Finals fashion, but to put on a run like that, I think still be what, top seven.
Mhm.
He made a name for himself right then and there, and I was like, no, I know my friends going for places, so like I couldn't be happier for him. I got to nerd out and do a little World Finals hype up interview for him, and think can't remember this kid's name. I think his name was Wyatt something. I can't remember. I feel bad. I'm horrible with names, but he's even lately been going out to shows wearing a Jurassic Tech crew shirt and getting all hyped up on the mic. And I saw on an Instagram comment that he took inspiration from me. I'm like, to me, I'm just the guy. And to hear that, like I think I DM'd them back with tears in my eyes. I'm like, you don't know how much that means to me because I'm still a
Mhm.
fan, and to hear people actually having like they're inspired by me, or they're like, how do you get into this? Like there's so many DMs lately I've realized I've left unread and trying to like respond back to now, but like different people even my age, or kids that are just barely graduating high school, whether it's on my TikTok or DMs on Instagram, like asking like you're an inspiration. How do I get into this? What are some advice and everything you have? And I'm like, wow, that's a lot. Like
Mhm.
I've I've generally I felt like I could make it this far, but I never thought I could. And to like have those moments where you like read back in messages or you just talk to the right people, and the day one from working with Cretan to work my way up, and then we made it to world finals, and then now with Team Throttle Monster, and I get one of my best friends in, and hopefully, like if Dev and I can keep kicking butt, like there might be a chance to replicate that all again. Like it's crazy that this world goes so fast in this job. You're always on top of this, and it's until you start reading messages and you look back at the memories, you're like, that's it's a pretty wild life we're living, and I'm super thankful for it.
You know, it's insane to know the journey. Like one person told me, the top of one mountain is the beginning of another.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about the one area that you are kind of starting to climb after
Mm-hmm.
we play Colby's commercial, is the time that you got to race and drive a monster truck. Like we said before in the past, anyone in the monster truck industry, if it'd be one time or pursuing a career,
Mm-hmm.
everyone that is in this monster truck community always wanted to drive a monster truck.
Mm-hmm.
Not moving it, but driving it and letting them do it. So we're going to
Yeah.
talk about that here in just a second. We're going to actually say thank you to Colby Marshall and MTRC. So here we go. Man, so that's another thing. RC monster truck racing, can't beat that and everything like that. So I try to make this as much as fan friendly possible as we can. So let's go to the day or the talks of having you behind the seat of a monster truck. I know your first show was pretty crazy when you had that slide slap, but
Yeah.
you're running it pretty good. But do you still remember the time that the communication and the idea? Because well, you're such a key point in the crewing wise of keeping these trucks going. There was times where they had like 6 trucks, and you were kind of the main crew chief for some of these trucks and stuff like that. So in the summertime, the Team Throttle Monster does some Rockwell shows and really branch out on the independent side, a lot of West Coast stuff like that. Not just Zach Jensen's trucks that do independent, but Mike and Paul, and the rest of the crew, they do that. So let's go ahead and talk about, what was the seed that was planted for you to be a monster truck driver.
For me, it was really when we started our 2020, was it 2024 tour? Whatever tour that it was me, Dalton, Hunter, and we went on the East Coast, and Mike kind of pulled me off to the side before even starting the tour, and he kind of like sort of hinted that once the tour was over that you might want to look into like making sure you have some gear ready. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I was like in my head, I'm like, oh, he's just messing with me or whatever. And then the more I started thinking on it, I'm like, oh wait, no, this is actually kind of happening. And like it was one of those Rockwell shows. And like you're saying, I was the only person that had ever really moved a monster truck. And even back then, like there were still times when I first started moving monster trucks, people were like, I don't think this guy should be in a truck moving it. Like it was still just a bunch of experience stuff. I mean, now that I've made it, I can admit this, but high school, I didn't really have a car. I didn't really get my license until COVID because I didn't finally have the time. Like it was, I when I'm saying I didn't really come from a lot. I mean, I came from decent stuff, but I didn't come from a lot. And there was always that like people were like, well, they're kind of unsure, but Mike and Paul, I'm like really thankful for them because they they saw an opportunity with me or something where maybe we could have this guy like slowly start like working his way up and give him that opportunity that he wants. And I'm thankful for that every day because like even to this day, like I've gotten messages from like different fans like, so when's the next time you're driving? And I'm like, I can't really tell them much because like, dude, I don't want to spoil what's coming up next. But like, it's like, are you gonna drive a monster game this year? I'm like, no, there's a lot more that needs to happen before I make it there. And I don't want to just do a couple shows just to now make it into Monster Jam. If I'm gonna be in the big leagues, I want to make sure I can like compete. So there's a lot more ins and outs and behind the scenes, but finally
Yeah.
getting to what was it, St. George or
Mhm.
Perkin, Utah. I was super nervous. I never practiced, no nothing. Tim Hall Jr. That was also his first weekend, and I mean he at least had a racing mud truck background. If I talk fast, by the way, I'm really sorry, guys, for anybody watching and everything. I'm just a fast talker, so bear with me here. But um, that weekend, I remember even talking with Tim, and we were both kind of nervous. We are like, so we don't really get any practice. We're just going straight into this. They're like, okay, I guess we'll just wing it. And I'm like suiting up for the first time and putting my Hans on and getting myself like adjusting my belts and everything. I'm like I remember Too Tall was one helping me strap in for like validly the first time. And he's like, how do you feel? And I'm like, I kind of can't breathe. And he's like, okay, you need to click in more. I'm like, what? You told me I need to be tighter in the thing? And it was one of those things I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is actually happening. Like it felt like I still remember that day, like it happened yesterday. And from like getting ready to doing my first pit party and like someone bringing their baby for me to hold and the baby didn't cry and they're like, wow, you must be great with kids. And I'm like, I guess I am. I was just trying not to drop the kid. And
Mhm.
like even to like intros for like the first time and everything, it's one of those experiences that like you will never forget because it's like I was a kid, I was up in those stands, and now I'm finally here. And it's like the emotions, everything is so just rampant. And I will say when you go immediately from being super emotional, you're standing up for the anthem, and now you're strapping yourself in, and you're still like tingly on the inside, and then you have to go right into okay, well we're doing our skills competition. I've still never did a whole shot in a truck or nothing, and I went from being super happy to be super anxious again. I'm like, um, I don't want to go too hard, or I don't want to do something I don't know how to do yet. And the
Mhm.
only thing I thought was like, okay, well, I can just go over the face of this racing lane because I'm gonna have to hit it during racing. And even the racing lane, I think it was about like a couple feet high, like what, 3, 4 feet. But like even just being slightly above idle and just going over it and just kind of going nose over, I still have like the footage of it. But I'm telling you guys as fans, if you're ever wondering going like actually taking off in a truck for the first time, just going a couple like maybe 10 miles an hour, it feels like going way faster because I thought I was going way too quick and I still nosed over and I was super embarrassed about that. I'm like, oh man, was at least any air? No. And that's like it's a translation thing that takes time. And it's with those experiences that like you start to figure that stuff out. You start to and then you really start to get down, okay, you get to make sure you want to shift right before you take off. You have to really get the feel of like carrying with your rear steer, turn your auto center off if you're gonna do a cyclone. Like there's so much that goes on inside that cab that like a lot of the fans, I mean, maybe they'll see on a live stream, but until you're actually put in that like position, I mean, even I guess for me, I'm someone that thinks a lot and overthinks a crap ton. And sometimes I'll like piss on my own like grave there when I'm like trying to do something when you're trying to learn. But it's honestly everybody wonders, well, when do you guys practice? I mean, yeah, there's MJU, but really for most of the independent people, the practice is the show you're watching, especially with the new people. The
Mhm.
practice session is the stuff you're watching right now. So whenever like I last year, I think it was Gridley, California, and that was I think it was Devin and I in the semis. Devin's truck went bad because he had an EFI think sensor go out, so I technically went on to the finals, and then I raced. Brandon Galley and Wicked Strong. I didn't even know I beat him. I thought I was like, okay, cool. Track super money. I'm gonna go pit back inside. And then the techs are climbing up in the cab, like, dude, you won. I'm like, wait, I won? Wow. Like, that's crazy. And like watching like the fan stuff, like there's a fan that like sent me like my freestyle run off of Facebook, and like hearing from him, it's like, "Ah, this guy's really good." And like hearing that, I'm like, oh man, he has no idea that's like my third or fourth time ever driving. I don't think I'm that great, but like hearing that from the fans, and like at least like they're enjoying the show. That's what makes me kind of like, okay, let's reel it back a little bit. Like, yeah, we're still new, but like that person enjoyed it. There's still there like, yeah, you made your small mistakes. Like you could have taken this corner better, or you could have done this better, because that's just how I am. But to know at the end of the day, I won for my team, and the fans that were there enjoyed the show. I mean, that's making my inner child happy, and that's making however many people were up in the stands that day. They at least went home with like, hey, we enjoyed the show. And uh like even now, like I'm excited to say that we got a lot of things going on for Team Throttle Monster, like you said. I mean, we just got Preston Collins on. I love that dude to death. We just got Kylie Thurber on, and like it's an honor to have like her kind of help coming out and helping, because we've known each other for a while. And I mean, who would have thunk it that now my best friend and my other friend are now like
Mm.
dating in a team together? It's cool to like kind of see everything slowly come to fruition, and it's like I feel like this team's we're building up to something great here, and I want to keep riding that high. And like again, for people that are always asking, well, what do you have planned? Like, are you going to drive more? I'm like, trust me, there's a reason why. Like I've made it this far, but like I know I'll have my opportunities to drive and have my fun. But really, at the end of the day, like as long as I know I'm still enjoying my job, my friends and family, like we're all enjoying what we do, and we put on a show for you fans. I know I'll get my chance in Monster Jam one of these days, and that's all I kind of need to know. I've
Mhm.
made my stamp, and I'm gonna keep making my stamp, and just keep being me. And I'm gonna keep making my cool videos, making as many drivers look cool, and just have my fun. Because at the end of the day, I mean, if you work hard to something that you are passionate and you don't regret a day that like, oh man, we had to do a motor swap or anything, and you still go to their hotel at the end of the night and being like, yeah, it was worth it though. That's to me that what really makes this worth it.
You know, and I'm once again in the same boat with a different team, though. You know, just people ask, "Hey, when's the next time?" And I'm starting to get more and more track feel, and the more and more driving wise and stuff like that. And
Mm.
hopefully sooner or later I'll be going to MJU to, get my hands dirty a little bit. But
Oh,
I think,
I think
you
it's
know,
doing it again. Hang on.
uh, hello?
Wait.
Oh no, hello? Hey,
Okay, I don't know if it's going still, but I think it dropped off. Oh God. Um,
hey, can you hear me?
I
You
mean,
have to. Hello? Rejoin.
uh. Oh wait, I can't see the. Rejoin. Okay. I'm working on it.
There we go. Hello? Oh. Well, he's going to get back on. We're going to finish a little bit, some questionnaire and stuff like that. But once again, guys, thank you so much for being on here. And once again, if you guys have a chance to go to J Concepts, get your 15% off at the door, some RC stuff and whatnot. But here we go. We got him back on. Hello.
Hang on, I'm still trying to fix my AirPods. Okay, do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm like doing this off the phone right now. I don't have my computer. I did, however, figure out how I can read the chats though.
Hmm.
I've been out of the game for a while. Oh man, there's
Which
quite a
let's
bit of
talk
people.
about that a little bit. You get
Yeah.
and the pandemic happens, everything shut down. I had our podcast going, but we were still doing the audio stuff, recording and then putting it on iTunes and Spotify. Until Brad, I think, talked to you and
Mhm.
introduced us to StreamYard because you guys had a program called MonsterCast. It was you and Cam and Miguez, and you guys did your kind of like the behind the scenes, the MC type deal, and Cam would
Mhm.
go ahead and do his own thing, and kind of started. We did the live stream. Phil, a couple others, they did the Monsters of the West Coast, and now we're starting to get the ball rolling now with the All Monster and Inside Monster Jam stuff like that. But with the Monster Cast though, um, you know, you were a lot of the behind the scenes person, but you knew, you made Cam look good. Let's just say
Hey.
that.
I appreciate it. I mean, I could see that guy was super passionate and has always wanted to do his own podcast. And meanwhile, there's me. I'm like, I wouldn't mind being on a podcast, but at the time, I was too shy to say like 10 words. But I was
Hmm.
super inspired of like all the people we had. So if there was a way that I could make people look cool with the different little video intros and whatnot I was putting out there, then gosh dang
Yeah,
right, I'm gonna do it.
the
But
random the random Cam videos, like he's in a country guy or some type of
mhm.
deal or something like that. And he had his own way of doing things. Let's just say that.
Well, he was definitely pretty wild about that, if I could say much. And we always like to try to switch things up every here and there, and that's what kind of made it fun for me. And at one point, I remember getting a text back from him. It's like, "Would you ever want to like bring the podcast back?" And I'm like, "Man, if I ever have the time for it, at least maybe a couple more, I wouldn't mind doing." Or like, it'd be like a thing we'd come back to and do. Like, if I have the spoons and time for it, because I mean I'm always busy, but
Hmm.
the right people, I always will make the time. It's more just if it's gonna be a live stream or if it's gonna be a podcast, I want it done right.
Yeah,
So this is one of those times I'm like, oh, I'd love to be on Sheets' podcast, never been on one. So
it's I try.
this is that beginning stamp.
Yeah, and me and Brad always talked about having you on just to be a third member and stuff like that.
I appreciate
Um,
that.
so another thing I always was wondering is outside of the monster truck world, and you do the videography and stuff like that. You're really into fitness. There's some photos and videos that you show at the gym. You're working out, your muscles and leg day stuff like that. But what got you into that? Also into it, and also maybe helping people out in the industry. You know, the nutrition side of it because we kind of live and breathe off of fast food, and
Yeah.
we live in hotels more of the times than or live in hotels and hang out at Love's, Pilots, and TA truck stops more than we actually do our own house. So talk about the fitness and what got intrigued to you about that, and also how do you mentally prepare yourself for what goes on in the monster truck world.
That's a good one. I mean, the short, jokey story answer is, well, I got tired of looking in my pictures and all you saw was like skin and bone. But mostly it was after like my first breakup that I was like, yeah, I've always wanted to work out. Let's just really like hammer down hard into doing this. And the more I started going to the gym, even though I was like super new to it, but like I had people now that are still my friends and we still keep in touch. Um, they would kind of give me like the right way or like kind of give me like some points, tips, or even like spots. And then I started getting pretty strong myself to the point like I was kind of getting a little like show offy just like them. And coming into doing monster trucks and trying to stay fit on the road and everything, like there's last year, I mean, even Berto thought I was like insane for it. Like I would try to set an alarm and I'd wake up at 6 to make sure I would make enough time to at least do like a small workout. Or the venues we did get, they would have like the gym open. So during pit party, I would like make myself work out because that is at least downtime. And as long as I knew my trail was cleaned, then okay, and I can go out, work out and do this. There's been different like small stuff I would research with on the side, whether it's going down the road. Okay, well, I want to hit this muscle or this muscle. How do I stay consistent in something? And it's always like I have this vision for myself. I'd love to be doing monster trucks. I'd love to be a good monster truck driver or decent monster truck driver and decent mechanic. But if I could have that like anime bod look and look just like super cool, quiet, like he's that quiet, cool, jacked guy, and he does monster truck stuff. Who is this guy? And like that's the look for myself I've always wanted. So I've always been inspired by that, and I've always wanted to like help lift people up too. Like we're talking on Friends. I mean, Devin is a good example of that. Like he's still up back there right now, but even to start the year, I threw him in one of my clips too because he's like, "Hey, can I come to the gym with you? Like, I want to look good going into like next year, like for what World Finals." I'm like, "But I got you. I'll put you on a program. You might not like it, you might hate me, but we'll be pretty yoked together." And it's like, yeah, it's that like again, that kind of coming of a community. It's like someone wants to reach here or they want to do this. I mean, if I was gonna be like the jerk that's feeling like, oh no, I'm not gonna help you out, then what kind of teammate, friend, or really human would I be? Like the gym and the community culture in there, it's just like family too. When it comes to dieting, though, I will say that's more of a Devin question because I mean I helped him a little bit, but he's taking it like hard on. Like he's only strictly like he's very like I'm just eating meat or I'm just eating my carbs and I'm hitting my like needs I make. And I'm like, I'm like, I don't know. I still have a messed up metabolism. I'll just kind of eat whatever I find at a truck stop, or maybe I'll just temporarily fast or something. It's not healthy, but I mean, I'm slowly trying to fix up on those goals. So
Well, they say
you listen
mediated fasting is starting to become very popular.
in mediation, it's good, but don't get too into like, oh well, I'm just not going to eat today. Like don't do that type of stuff. Like
Mhm.
your body is the machine, just like these monster trucks out here. I mean, how do you expect the monster truck to put on like a badass run without fuel, without oil? Well, how do you expect to function if you don't have water or like stuff in your system? If you're expected to work at a top level, you should take care of yourself, on some
Gotcha. Yeah.
opening mental health stuff there.
Hey, that's what this podcast is for. We want to go in depth and into the monster truck industry, and you're part of it. So we know right now this is becoming a good episode is when the room that was behind you,
Mm.
it was daylight. Now it's
Yeah.
starting to become a little darker.
I can
You know,
walk into some light right here.
but
Hang on, let me move the chair up.
but we're heading towards that. You call it an hour and a half episode, but is there any social media people can follow you at?
I mean, you can follow me on my Facebook, Mason Paul. Anything and everything that I do social media wise, it's always Chazzy MP, CHAZZY It's my first dog's name and my two initials for anybody that has been wondering. And if you guys are interested, like I love making cool little videography projects, either daily or whenever I want to on my Instagram and TikTok. It's just called All Smiles. I just like making cool videos, try to make it look like a rap video or even like Crash Madness lately. Which, by the way, I'm so bad with names. I just forgot. Colby, your video that you did, that was very Crash Madness 1 like esque. And like now I gotta make Crash Madness 1. So just from watching that little ad, you got me thinking, I'm like, okay, I see you. I see you.
Yeah.
But no, I really enjoyed this. Like it's been a lot of fun. Even just hearing a little bit about your story. Like I'm a big fan of this type of stuff. I don't talk a lot, but I'm always watching and listening.
Well, thank you for being on too. And you get Devin on. I've been trying to get him on also, and hear his side of everything.
Oh, trust me, as soon as this call and this episode's over, I'm gonna be running right to that semi and being like, dude, you're doing it, girl.
It's awesome to hear about this. And I hope someone that watches our episode, I don't really know what numbers I get on the episode. I just know a lot of people listen to it, and it's a good episode that people can drive along to and listen to the product itself. Me and Brad, I just do this for fun. I enjoy it. So I prove to people, if you have something you're passionate, you're going to have time. I completely understand what you go through. the Monster Circle. I'm busy all the time, but I try to do what I need to do. A lot of stuff that you do can take maybe 5 minutes to put a post up saying, hey, Mason Paul's coming on this Tuesday. I know I could do a lot more. I could do video cuts. I could, keep on putting ads on every single day, but I try to do what I need to do just to help out with it. But how do you get the thumbs up?
I don't know. I thought that was you doing that.
What am I saying?
Again, I haven't touched anything StreamYard in years until just this day. I've been keep seeing like a thumbs up on my little screen, and I'm like squinting. And I'm like, is that you? But no, like I completely agree. Like even with my little videos, I don't do it for the likes or the comments. I mean, I'm happy when I see like different friends or like especially drivers I look up to like or think it's cool. But I mean, I don't really pay attention too much to the numbers because really I do it for the love of the game. Just like you
Mhm.
and Brad do this podcast, which you guys have been doing it for so long. And honestly, like props to you on that. Like there's not a lot of times I can always tune into episodes, but there's always like a chance I can like have a little peek or I don't got
Mhm.
anything I'm doing on the road. Let me just listen to a podcast real quick. Like people, even me, someone that's not always around, it's like I still enjoy having medias and stuff like that, and to still see stuff like this going on. It's you guys got good stuff going on, and yeah, I want to see this keep going on. So
Well, keep on trying, and give a shout out to Kyle Doyle and OSMT showing all those old school monster trucks. Time or two, I'll throw in some Monster Wars. Uh,
oh
or
man,
out of nowhere, sometimes I'll randomly throw in some Speed Network stuff just to watch some Monster Jam Speed stuff, or lately since it's been the 20th anniversary, I've been watching some old school. Oh, not old school, but Monster Blog when they had the chapter videos, like
Mhm.
5 out of like 10 racing, and then you hear click click boom when the two trucks, boom bum ba-dum, bum ba-dum, ba-dum, or something like that nature. But it's been really fun. But Mason, thank you so much for being on. Hopefully, see you down at the World Finals or down the road. And
As you.
yeah, thank you. And go ahead and do that tomorrow. Oh, not tomorrow. Next week's guest is going to be Bill Brockman from Shockwave.
Mm.
And be aware, he's actually going to be the guest for Mark Warner and his MW1 Entertainment episode. That's going to be beginning of the May. And then I believe the week after that, I think we're going to have Preston Perez and have him on
Nice.
too. Another guy who was a huge super fan that started with Monster Truck Central photos, and now he became this year's 2025 Monster Truck All-Star Monster Truck Tour champion with Toxic, and now is taking a new endeavor with Daniel Ames and his group down in South Carolina, and go from there. So we're gonna have him that's gonna be the next 2 weeks. Once again, Brad always says this: check up on your friends and family. Once again, show some love. Let them know, hey, you're around and they're worth something. We're always, being there, be friends. Whatever needs to be done, show some love. And I always also say, donate blood. Sometimes it's crazy to know that just a pint of blood can help someone that's somewhere around the world. For instance, Brad Shipper against the Grain Monster Truck. That's a perfect example for someone that's in a situation where Matt Schultz, a huge Monster Truck fan, RC driver, he had the same situation too. Go to Central Blood Bank, United Red Cross, any organizations that will do that will help out. Even though we're trying to get to away from the cold, some areas are still cold, some areas are getting hot. If you have animals outside that you own, please bring them inside. You just never know. Help them out big time and go
Mm.
from there. But once again, guys, Bradshaw is at church, drumming his way and having fun. He'll be on hopefully next week. Mason Paul, thank you again for this. It was pretty neat, pretty awesome to hear about this, and hopefully we will have you on. Let's just say, and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, being on was honestly an honor. I hope to hopefully do a lot more with you guys, and I mean,
Mhm.
you'll see a lot more of me. I'm I'm starting to kind of talk a little bit more now. I've
Yeah.
been again super shy, and you guys have been now actually being able to do this podcast and not be shy and like stuttering and stuff. Like I hope to do this a lot more. Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
and it helps out also with the PR and the people skills. One thing I always take is if if Mike or Paul asks for like PR skills, be the first one to be like, "Hey, I'll do it."
Yeah.
I know it's probably something be kind of hard or mental game wise, but the the people the people up in the Florida headquarters and other promoters like it when you volunteer yourself and also be very talkative to the fans and
Mhm.
everything like that. Just because um, they see how your personality is and
Mhm.
also how you can react to people uh, that monster truck shows.
Mm.
One thing I do and give respect is Mark and Tim Hall. They're another group, two people that never gave up on me. But when we do not monster truck races, we do a lot of dealership displays. We deal with people that never really have the money to go to monster truck shows, and this car crash that's happening with a monster truck that they get to see is free. You talk to them about everything, and
Mhm.
you just try to get connected and try to be a ambassador, even in the monster truck industry for people,
Right.
and go from there. And then that gets you going. Then sometimes at dealerships, occasionally you're gonna have a radio plug or news channel comes over and starts talking to you. You just gotta be on your hands and knees, dot your I's, cross your T's, and then uh, be upbeat, always with a smile, big truck, big smiles, and sign autographs until the last person leaves. Sign autographs until the night's out, and just to be the representative of that. So um, PR work really helps out and take full advantage of the opportunity of doing so.
Noted.
Yeah, so I've learned that and try to get that in the bag of tricks and stuff like that. So once again, guys, thank you for being on. That is Mason Paul. Bradshaw will be around next week, like I said. I'm Dan Chiche Gosh. Keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up. Peace.